Welcome or welcome back for another journal with me. My name is Kelsey Lee, and today we are creating a reading journal entry in my daily journal. So grab your own journals or sit back and relax to gain some inspiration, and let's begin. Earlier this year, I read Sense Sensibility by Jane Austen and really enjoyed it, so I wanted to capture some of my favorite quotes from the book and do a really brief review here in my journal to remember my reading experience. And these fun quote cards are actually ones that I got from Obujo in a haul, so I'll have that linked at the end of the video so you can watch that next. This beautiful collection of music sheets was also part of that haul, and this one called Love's Old Sweet Song I thought would be perfect to represent some of the themes, as well as the fact that one of the main characters was a musician. I also loved this really large piece of paper that I've had in my collection for a while and have been uncertain how to use it. But I finally decided to cut out a swatch of it and use it for this entry because it reminds me of old Victorian wallpaper, and one of the major plot points, in fact, the thing that sets the entire plot in motion, is the fact that these women are having to downsize from their lavish lifestyle in a beautiful home to a small cottage. So those are two examples of how, when I'm creating a reading journal entry especially, I'm always thinking about those small details and how they represent the plot of the book or the themes and take me back to the experience of reading that work. If you have read Sense Sensibility, I hope that you have picked up on those details. And I would love to know from those of you who are Jane Austen fans down in the comments what you think I should read by Jane Austen next. What is your favorite Jane Austen novel or something similar to her that you have enjoyed? I've personally only read Pride and Prejudice and now Sense Sensibility, so I would welcome your recommendations. A Jane Austen-inspired entry would not be complete without some beautiful stickers that represent the dress of the time. It's always one of my favorite things about period pieces, and these stickers are called European Holiday from the Era Teller series. And if you are interested in any of those items, I do have a discount code down in the description, so I encourage you to check it out. It is one of my favorite journaling shops online. Since I took up so much space with the other elements on this entry and didn't want to detract from them, I decided that a really clean, crisp white envelope would be a nice addition for me to be able to add the quotes to this page, as well as a little journal review that I'll end up sticking in the envelope. But of course, I didn't want to leave it completely blank white, so I decided to get out my alphabet stamps, one of my favorite journaling supplies, and write out Jane Austen so that we all can know right from the start who this page is all about. If you wondered where the fun quote pages went, never fear, they are back, and I actually decided that I would make a little flip book of them and just poke a hole in the top left corner. I happened to use my scissors, but a needle probably would have worked even better, and thread them together. And I decided that this would be a nice way to feature some of the favorite quotes, which is just available in my case in that great stack. There are a few other novels that they have quote stacks of on Obujo, so I would encourage you to check them out to see what other titles are available. But I just thought this was a really fun way to feature some favorite quotes and tie them all together with a little string so you can pull them out of the envelope and flip through them You, of course, could also create your own. Create a reading journal entry where you have an envelope and cut little pages to size and write your favorite quotes on them and create your own little quote book to keep in your reading journal entry for whatever book you happen to love. I would have been very happy with this entry just as it is, but I decided to add a few more little touches, and these flowers I wanted to add because it represents one of my favorite scenes in the book when one of the male characters brings a set of flowers to Mary Ann and she kind of disregards them, and then another character who is another male interest brings her flowers and suddenly she's gushing over the beauty of the flowers, and it's a very comedic little moment, and that's one of my favorite things about Jane Austen. She incorporates comedy into her work in such a really nuanced and beautiful way. It's a very witty comedy, and that personally is something I very much enjoy. So again, an example of a very small detail that actually has much deeper meaning, and I think that's one of my favorite things about creating entries about a day or about a book I've read, whatever it happens to be, is really thinking about the creative elements and how they represent the deeper meaning of the experience. Of course, I didn't want this entry to be entirely subliminal messaging. I wanted some things to be more overt, so I did write out what the main themes were for this book just as a reminder to myself, as well as the two main characters. Something I always very easily forget. I'm so bad at remembering character names in books, so that little reminder will be helpful to me in the future. And then I wanted to grab this really beautiful card that has elocution written on the front, which we all love how Jane Austen writes, so I just thought it was the perfectly fitting piece to incorporate in this page, and that's where I chose to write my rating and will write a very brief review for this book as well. So there you have it. That is my very quick and yet very meaningful entry for this book that I read and loved. I hope that this process has inspired you for your own journaling, that you gained some insights into my process, and maybe even learned some techniques that you will want to apply to your own creative journal or reading journal in the future. If it did, I'd love for you to give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment letting me know something new that you want to try in your journal as a result of watching this video. If you need a little more inspiration, I have lots more here on my channel, so definitely check out my Obujo haul next or my latest video, and I'll look forward to seeing you there.